All right. So tonight's interview is brought to you by our friends at SeatGeek, where you can use our code SamShady to save $20 on any of your purchases. But joining me tonight is a man who hails from my home state of Colorado and has kind of been adopted as one of its own since he's moved here. Known to his opponents as the Ballhawk, Mr. DeWayne Autrey has collected 8 championship rings along his decorated career. However, in 2023, he joins a new team looking to bring in winners. DeWayne, how are you doing tonight? And thank you for joining me.
Bless. Appreciate you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. The pleasure is all mine. I mean, we've been talking behind the scenes for months now. So always a pleasure to be able to bring on some Colorado-based athletes, and I'm really excited to talk to you about your career.
Yes, sir.
So before we get started, I see that you've got quite a few rings there on your right hand. Why don't you show the fans and tell us about those rings that you're wearing currently?
Basically, it was how I was able to solidify my own journey in the path that I went. Going into the arena realm as a professional, not going the D1 route, not going the NFL route, but still, wanting to, let it be solidified. And with the states that I have been able to be a part of, for 5+ years, and even my home state, being in that position to gain those championships to, put a stamp on my career, being home state, being Texas, I didn't start my professional career in Texas. I didn't win a championship in high school, in Texas. So I didn't come from that, but it was like, it always put something in me to, get it done. So basically when I got that opportunity to go back home to Texas and win that championship for the franchise and the organization, I did that. And same thing, being part of Colorado State since 2015, and the team that I was a part of, that I am part of in Colorado, they was the ones who introduced me into the championship mindset and basically the behavior and how to carry myself as a champion and move like a champion, honestly. And that was with the Colorado Greyhawks. And then, starting my career out in Kansas back in 2012, I went to the championship, in that first year with the Bombers, and didn't make it back before I got blackballed from the league in 2019. But then was able to, come back in with no rings. And from that year, gained, 5 to 8. So that was just a blessing. When Coach O brought me in this past year, that was a whole ordeal. I met him back in 2015 when I originally moved up to Colorado, and I tried out with the Ice. And, at that time, it was just timing, I believe. It didn't work out. And then little did we both know, come in 2022, we would be right there, with the same goal, same mindset to, give a city and organization its first championship. And both of us, coming from that mindset and same goal oriented, I think we achieved that goal for the franchise and the city, and that's all it was about. So I definitely appreciate Coach O, for giving me that chance and being a Hall of Fame coach himself, and me trying to, solidify my own numbers and career with being a Hall of Fame player when it's all said and done. And doing it under him and other coaches, like Coach Victor Mann as well, Hall of Fame coach that I would consider Hall of Fame coach in this arena realm, definitely.
Absolutely. So obviously you just kind of preface some of the things that we're going to talk about, but for anybody who's not aware, he's talking about the Colorado Ice. Used to be the IFL team before it rebranded into the Colorado Crush back in, I believe, 2017 when it changed hands.
Yep.
And then a couple years after that, unfortunately, the franchise was abandoned by actually a guy who's been on this channel, Patrick Dees, the co-founder of the Fan Control Football League. So kind of a weird world we live in.
Back, because that was the easiest thing for me to do, being here in Colorado. Definitely was going to be something that I was looking forward to, literally just being here in Colorado and then just putting on for Colorado. But unfortunately, they've had talks of coming back throughout the years. It just hasn't happened.
Definitely. Well, hopefully it does at some point, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So for the moment that everybody's been waiting for. Obviously, we kind of teased this to fans a little bit over the past couple of days because you just signed a contract for the 2023 season. So I'm going to give you the floor and go ahead and let you announce where you're headed for the 2023 season.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, just taking, everything that I've learned, championship caliber mindset, with me and others, we're going to go ahead and make that happen with Coach Tice over there in Topeka with the Tropics.
Very nice. Very nice. So for anybody who didn't catch that, that is the Topeka Tropics of the CIF. So he's straying away a little bit from the championship squad that he won with in 2022, but he's headed to a squad that seems very determined to bring in winners. So tell me a bit about the mentality that you bring to the Topeka Tropics, given that you have won so many trophies over your career.
It's definitely just that leadership mentality, but just in a different way, showing them, how to carry themselves, on and off the field, to put themselves in the position, to be in that championship or conference championship at the end of the year. Because throughout my career, honestly, that's all I've played in, conference championships and championships, honestly. And so knowing that kind of, formula, and then being a part of, two franchises, being North Texas Bulls, Coach Mann and Salina Liberty, and Coach Heron O'Neill, and the players that I had on the team, it was something I was able to really see. I didn't have to put up them numbers anymore. I didn't have to put up the 100 tackles, 10 interceptions anymore. It was literally just being, that general, bringing what I bring to the table and feeding off of others and others feeding off of me, and basically, and letting my walk do my talk, and that was definitely what Coach Trey, he stayed stern on me about that. I ain't got to bark at people. At the end of the day, I've gained a name, for myself, throughout this arena realm, and carry a little weight. So I don't have to, bark at people on or off the field. Honestly, they know what happens when we strap up, and, film speaks for itself. And I say that honestly, without even trying to brag or boast. So it's in these last 2 years, even with this showing, being up there and in my prime at this time, and not giving up 2 to 3 scores, throughout the whole season. So it's something that I really look at. I'm only looking forward to, go, do that in Topeka with the younger players that are definitely going to come in, and be around me and put them on basically the same way. Because I look at it I didn't have to go to the NFL. And that's nothing against anybody who's still pushing that to make ends meet for me and my family for the last 10 years, to start my own, business, gain my own merchandise. But I learned, through the last 10 years, I'm going against them NFL, CFL, overseas, D1 athletes week in and week out. I'm going against the people who are getting cut from the 55-man roster, I'm going against the people that are literally, doing everything, breaking their backs, to go overseas and CFL and things like that. We're getting it in, every year, and I have been. So it's just understanding, giving that and letting these other people know we're in the same position. And it's no different over here in the arena. It's a lot faster. Athleticism is shown and you will be exposed, and humbled in the arena.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're going to run through some comments real quick. Just wanted to shout out everybody who's tuning in. We got quite a few viewers already, but if you're watching, share this with your friends. Please, get us all the viewers you can, because DeWayne's story is amazing. And he's got a lot to talk about. So we've just barely scratching the surface so far. So Joseph Garcia tunes in. He says, "Yo, my bro D, much love."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's brother. Yeah, that's
Let's
brother.
go. Casey Pierce, another one of the former guests on the channel.
Yes, Big
Sorry,
case.
I'm running late. Good to my brother.
Yes, sir.
Look at all those rings, looking fresh, my guy. And then Sean Thomas says, "Yes, sir." So thank you guys for tuning in. Casey, if you have not checked out Casey's interview, make sure to go hop over and check that out after this. He was on a couple weeks ago, not even a couple weeks ago, I think a week ago.
A week ago,
and definitely it was great, a great story, and definitely one that I recommend everybody checking out. But back to this man at hand story. So a few months ago, it looked like on the surface that Topeka was about to close doors and no longer be a franchise. However, a new ownership group stepped in and purchased the team, and now they're kind of rebuilding it from the ashes of what last season was for them. Now, obviously, this isn't your first rodeo joining a team and kind of rebuilding it from the ground up. What is it about these situations that motivates you as an individual?
Honestly, that's where God comes in for me. I realized, when I felt like the game was taken away from me, in 2019, I was put in a position to like sit down and realize like, it ain't about where you want to go anymore. It's about, where you're needed, where you're going to be, you know, the most impactful, and basically you're going to be able to touch and save a lot of people, where God's going to place you, within these next couple of years. And basically that's really what happened for me. Went from, the first 5 years, really trying to go wherever I wanted to go. And then these last, when COVID happened in 2020, I was ready to go. IFL. Then, had to sit down again, but it forced me, to train and dig in even more. But it really like made me see something that God did for me. It was like literally put me in position, put me in places to go meet, grind and work, and just have find a new love for the game, honestly, and have a different understanding for the game. Because it's like, honestly, I didn't have to take these different routes to gain all that I've gained. And that's the next generation. Like, honestly, they're about to be in this position to do exactly this and more without going, that route that we're told, like, oh, it's only D1, it's only NFL. Like, nah, it's definitely more out there, and we still can end up getting to that same place, just taking a different route.
Definitely. So we got actually one of the current players in Salina is asking, are you back in Salina or did you sign somewhere else?
Oh, nah, y'all be seeing me over there in Topeka.
Definitely. So Kevin, you will be facing DeWayne and another former AWFC player who is signed on as a quarterback, Lorenz Stefan. So definitely they're trying to bring in winners from every direction. I'm very encouraged by what they're doing over there in Topeka. I think they've got the foundation for a winner for sure. So Kimberly says, congratulations, coach.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Sean says, that's real talk, brother. And then Kevin Simpson says, okay, 100, 100. So he's already starting to prepare to face you guys.
Definitely.
What do you look forward to the most when it comes to joining Coach Tyus and the Tropics?
That main goal, changing the dynamic of the organization and franchise in a positive way, bringing more family and the community in, and getting them to really, buy into the game of arena football, and, the organization and what they're doing over there, basically just bringing that, that competitive football back to Topeka area, because I think before them it was the Topeka Coyotes or something like that. And that was way back in like 2000, probably 15, 14 maybe. But so they're definitely, they love football over there as well. And just putting them back in a position, to get them fans back out, something to cheer about and love football, but also be in the position with those kids out there in Topeka, Kansas, helping them, off the field, and the community, because that's really what I'm seeing that they're basically, really trying to do, and bring that back to the city of Topeka. And being that I've, been able to do that in my own home state, here in Colorado, back there where I started my, the franchise at where I first started in Salina, just being in that position, to just go and do that for another franchise or organization and the community. That's really what I'm on right now, and understand that's probably where I'm needed at right now.
Absolutely. So this seems like a perfect time to play a little highlights. So I'm going to play your highlight video in the background, mute it so we can continue to keep talking around it. But figured it would give everybody an opportunity to see exactly what kind of playmaker you are, because not everybody might have seen you play quite yet. So here it is. So you can catch this full highlight video right on DeWayne's YouTube channel. So if you want to catch the full highlight video and many others, as well as other content, definitely check out DeWayne Autrey on YouTube. So obviously you are one of the top talents in the CIF for the past few years, and you're leaving a franchise that won a title in 2022. So I'm very curious, how did the Tropics convince you to join them in a pursuit of a championship in 2023, given what happened with them in 2022?
Like I said, honestly, it was really just following my heart and what God was already setting in me. And I had already knew of Ty as being a player that I've played with the Bombers, and and then just him being in that position as well, player turned coach, and understanding his mindset and what he was wanting to do. So that definitely helped the situation. And definitely had the fans. They've been in the inbox, and I wasn't expecting that, honestly. Just going to Topeka. I think I only got to play there once this year. So, and when I went out there, the fans they loved the game already. So it was like the fact they were already in my inbox, not even thinking that I would possibly be coming back there to play. It was definitely situation I kind of looked at like, what, you're gonna be in a position, to go basically turn that fan base up, and promote, market yourself in a positive way for the community, and make some noise. And just like I know and understand, like I play in conference championships and championship games. So it definitely be something that speaks volume, about me and my career and what I'm striving to continuously do, taking a franchise and helping them, move up the ranks, because we won't be a bottom team, that's for sure. We won't be a 500 team, that's for sure. Like that's top 3 team. That'll be almost positive we'll be a top 3 team in the league come next year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to be extremely competitive in 2023, and I think anybody who's sleeping on the Tropics better wake up quick, because the kind of talent you guys are bringing in, like I spoke about before, I mean, you guys have all won where you've been before. I mean, that's no coincidence. They're being very smart. They're trying to bring in people that know what it's like to win, to bring that mentality to that roster, and hopefully show some of these younger players exactly what it takes to get to that level. But we're going to run through a couple more comments. Casey says, DeWayne is a true baller and businessman. Absolutely. Kevin says, I don't usually do this, but dude is a true baller. Got to give her respect when due, even if he's an opponent, right? So, and then DA Hawk, training all the boys, said, congratulations, Coach DeWayne.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you,
amazing.
Babies, man.
It's amazing. So obviously, as you know, we here on Shady Sports Network are obviously huge fans of Coach O. I honestly think he's one of the best in the business. So what did you gain working with Coach O last season, given that you're a DB and he's a former defensive back?
Man, just like I was saying, it was like it wasn't all on me. I don't have to go and make these plays. Like I don't have to go and make all the plays. Like he's going to put me in position when it's my time to make my play. And just like understanding, that back end communication, and trusting my brother across from me, and knowing, the people that I had around me. It was really like we were always putting each other in position, like if I'm not going to make that play, I'm going to put you in a position to make the play, and that literally, I mean, people see with the numbers, I don't think we gave up, like on the average, probably 25 to 26.7 or maybe 27 as far as our defensive average. And that's just an arena total. Like when you go IFL, CIF, NAL, AAL, like that's amongst everybody. Like we had, a defensive stat when it came on that back end that not too many in the arena literally can say that they compared to. And that was a challenge given to us by Coach O. That's a defensive guru, and he know what he's doing back there. And so at the end of the day, it was really buying into like, man, obviously you know what he's doing. So like, let me lock in. And so once you lock in like that, it's like, man, I just got to play ball and have fun now. That's all it's about. Having fun playing ball. I know he's going to put me in position to win, and that's what I'm here to do. believe in him like he believed in me. That's why. I mean, that's why we had the whole conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we've talked a lot about your football career so far. So we're gonna divvy off that path a little bit and start talking about your off the football field careers. So not only are you a player, but you're a coach. You train small young kids, which obviously we've seen a couple of them tuning in and commenting. So how can parents get their kid involved in learning from one of the best in the CIF?
I mean, honestly, like right now, I'm just doing, using my platform when I am out here in the community in Colorado. Being that my kids have played, in the nation's youth football league, I'm out there and I'm seeing, the culture, and I'm seeing, being a kid from Texas, and Texas being the top state, when it comes to that football mindset and how we approach the game, but then also seeing, like them same problems that we were having growing up, it's still going on in this era, in this generation. But the difference was, it was like, they don't, they're not in the position to have that, that fight or that grit. So it's like just really just word of mouth, really like this. When they see me just over there, just helping all kids, not just the kid or the team that's I'm involved with, because I really see it's not just about like my organization. Like they're the next generation up. Like they literally are the next generation up. So it's like, how can I be most impactful? How can I really give back? And it's just like I was saying, like when it came to my professional career, like that's how I started moving. I don't care if the kid, didn't play football, 4 years, or don't know the first thing about football. Like I was there, I was once there, but I also knew that nobody was taking the time or the patience, just to break things down for me. So that's why it's like really, I don't really see my platform as being that big, but it's like, just having the voice that I do have, making the moves that I do that I do. I just, reach out to people, let them know, give them pointers, and it goes from there. Honestly, really goes from there. Trying to start up, getting, the LLC, for the company and everything like that. Just solidifying it, and then being out here in Colorado, got the winter. So it's like trying to find, indoor facility to really do this, for the community, for these kids, because it's like it's needed. You go to Texas, you go to some of these other states, they have these indoor facilities almost everywhere. And so it's like it's almost that's why these kids are so ahead of the game already. But then it's, just bringing that back to where I am at. It's like if I'm here, it's like I got a purpose of being here. So let me go ahead and just do this. And I don't really say it's the back end of my career, but I'm going into year 11, it's like I kind of already see what God got me my head and my heart set on, and and that's giving back in a way that I never saw me doing before or never thought of doing before. But it's just the easiest thing to do, honestly, because it's like the same love and passion that I have for the game. It's like I can go out there with the kid and for hours, literally, and just work out and train and just having fun and giving them the game and picking their brain. And it's like that's so much. I get so much more out of that than going to do something else with somebody else. Honestly.
Completely understand. I mean, I briefly coached flag football. It was a lot of fun. It's a challenge. It's a challenge for sure with the younger kids. So I'm curious, what ages do you coach? I mean, do you have any limits to that?
No, I don't. Honestly, it's like I was there. Probably started at 5, 6 when I first started playing, and literally being 33 now, it's like, what's the difference? I know 33, 30-year-old men that literally with women as well, like just the fact that you do give them those little pointers and training, it takes their game to a different level. And it's people that's always it's always room for improvement, like no matter the age. And it's like if you can literally break it down in a way that they understand and they comprehend, then hey, you're doing them justice.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that we can both agree that the best in any sport really are the
Mhm,
people who are the students of the game. So I mean,
mhm.
seeking out that extra help is important. You
Definitely.
see guys even like Tom Brady. He'll go
Yeah.
to a quarterback coach in the off season, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, it's an every level of football thing. If you want to be the best, you got to train like the best, and you're obviously one of the people that do that very very heavily.
Yes, sir.
So speaking of the kids that you train, we got a couple of them tuning in and commenting again. So we got Laderick Robinson that says it's all gas, no brakes, Godspeed.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Hello says congrats, coach. Not sure what his real name is. Cooper Yershin says,
Yes,
congrats,
really
coach.
too.
Laderick Richardson says, let's get tropical. And then Joseph Garcia, yes, and I'm proud to work with him yesterday and day it out. Such a blessing to have him out here in Colorado and getting to see a professional athlete give back. Joseph, I completely agree. Obviously, I'm a Colorado-based guy, so I'm going to take a moment to get on my soapbox here a little bit. But if it were not for men like DeWayne that comes out here and give Colorado a legitimacy in professional football, we really wouldn't have anybody to represent our state. There's very few guys that make it out of CU or CSU in the NFL or really professional football in general. So a lot of the guys kind of just wash out. So to have somebody like DeWayne come here and kind of make Colorado, one of his homes and represent our state is obviously something that we needed. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, man, because really it drives me nuts that Colorado doesn't get the recognition on the national level for the kind of athletes that come out of the state.
Definitely they got some goons out here. They got some athletes out here, man.
Absolutely.
It's getting more of them, like, just to tune in. And that's why it's like, with the platform that I do have, that's why it's like I'm always showing the kids love and shouting them out. Definitely like with Nation's Best and Gofi Global, like definitely Generations Next, like definitely like trying to get these other, networks and platforms to, reach out to these kids and give them shout outs, because basically like it's trying to get them to understand, like, y'all, this is y'all era. The fact that you are training, putting that on film, guess what? Take that to the game, transition that. Like, that is exactly what a coach is in the position to click on that platform, look and see what you're doing. And it's literally from the ages of 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up until you're in high school. So they're in the position to literally watch film on y'all, like, with this next generation from this youth age all the way to they're in high school. And understanding being one of those athletes, all it takes is a coach or a situation, and you're not getting that letter from the colleges. Everybody, like, a lot of people have those stories. So it's like, all right, well, funny thing about y'all era and y'all generation, y'all in the click-based era. Hands-on, viewing, everybody wants to go viral. Well, guess what? All it takes is one of these coaches seeing y'all go viral. 20,000, 40,000 views. They're going to click on it, reach out to you. And they might be in a position to give you a scholarship from 8th grade, 7th grade, 9th grade, without even having to speak to a coach.
I'm glad you said that. I actually had a conversation with Dr. Jen Welter, the linebacker coach from the Vegas Vipers of the XFL. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those things where she said that a lot of athletes these days are worried about the sizzle in their highlight tape and not the substance. Mm-hmm. And I argued that you have to have the sizzle to draw the attention to see the substance. So if you don't have the, that big play that really sets you apart from the pack, a coach may never look your way in the first place. So if you don't have that, that real hook, line, and sinker thing to bring them to your tape, like you're talking about when you go viral like that, then you may never get the opportunity that you deserve. And that's the thing that drives me kind of nuts is, like, if you get overlooked prior to college and you don't end up in a big school, there's a high likelihood that you might get overlooked by the NFL in general. And that's one thing that I think they're sorely lacking when it comes to their scouting department, because there's an unbelievable amount of talent in the indoor football leagues that never got the look that they deserved. And it's just amazing to me that so many guys slip through the crack of a multi-billion-dollar organization like the NFL.
Mm-hmm. But that's why I really love the arena game, honestly, because it's like once you get to that point of life where you realize, like, man, like, I'm still playing football, I'm still a professional, like, and I can do this in a way and carry myself in a way that maybe, just maybe, God has put me in a position to save me from a lot of the things that come with the NFL that we're not mentally ready to handle. We're not emotionally ready to handle. A lot of them aren't ready to get that $1 million, $2 million, $3 million contract. Like, so I look at it like, like, it's sometimes it is humbling in ways, like, because you do see it, unfortunately, with the same athletes, like when they're wanting that chance, they go about it in a way like as if, it's against them. And it's like, no, honestly, you might have to think about God saving you and putting you in a position, not right now, but later on, making you dig or grind that much harder, for this, breakout. And then the thing is, you might still get that breakout, but it might not be there because that's where you want to be, but that's not where he needs you to be.
That's a great point.
I really start seeing that. It's like, because people ask me all the time, DeWayne, you rich, you in the NFL. It's like, bro, I have yet to touch an NFL field, practice field, any of that. But I lined them up for the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
My kids haven't wanted for nothing, like, honestly. Like, and now I look at that, like, so it's like not everybody's able to, look at it, in the same, forefront. And it's like the NFL guys, it's like I have relatives, friends, like, and we're hanging out just the same. We're just being humane. And it's like, understanding I never wanted social media and that might, to, distract, the real end goal. Is like, what do you really want out of this? If you don't make it to the NFL, are you still who you are? Are you still able to, pursue life in the way that you have the dream, to be a professional? You still can be a professional without making it to the NFL.
100%. 100%.
So it's like when I encounter a lot of these athletes, it's like putting them on and showing them a whole different perspective, like opening that box in a whole different way that they never knew.
I completely agree. And honestly, I think we need more people like you that explain the good sides of the indoor football leagues, because there's a lot to like. There's a lot to love. I mean, these are the leagues that are giving people opportunities to continue playing football when, there aren't many or weren't many, a couple of years ago. But to get back to your businesses, not only do you train the youth, but you have several different forms of merchandise using your likeness and brand name. Now, this is likely most interesting facet of your off-field ventures to me. Talk to me about what led you to launch a clothing line, the action figures, the playing cards, all the different things that you've got going on.
I mean, honestly, it's like the opportunities, like you look at it like understanding. It's almost like you go back to Reggie Bush. Like, man, you made millions. Your name is worth money. Playing little league football, like I understood, like, man, making that first touchdown, got about $200 or $300. That was from youth.
Yeah.
Nobody was right there to really show you from the age and from the moment that we step on any platform to play a sport, you are building your worth. That means that last name that you are representing, that you're carrying, is worth something. Because guess what? When you go into that game, they're making money to bring people in to see what you're doing, not the person at the gate, not the coach. Not to disrespect them, but honestly, your name and the athlete that you are, you're the one bringing in the money. So I just didn't like it to where it was like, all right, so if I'm bringing in the money, honestly, why am I not receiving, the revenue for it? Why am I not, getting anything from, my name bringing in, a certain amount of fans? If they want, cards or action figures or anything like that, why am I not getting that? It's like they're going to go and pay, X amount of money, maybe $80 for the same action figure from, one of these NFL players that they're probably never going to see, meet, or have a conversation with. Trading card as well. Jersey as well. You're going to go and spend $100, $200 on a jersey that you're probably not going to have this conversation with. It's professional. But I'm professional enough to understand, like, damn, what I'm doing, like, no, do this in a way that, they aren't doing. And invest in yourself. Because that's all. The middleman is everywhere in every situation. So it's almost like, man, take out the middleman. I don't have to go through you. In the same way that I don't get any of the money that you're going to get off of my name when I'm doing it, you're not going to get any of the money that my name brings. And it's just the way the business is, honestly. So it's like learning it that way, and there's nothing against them, because like I know it's like when you go about it, or organization goes about it the route that they do, it's like they're not going to give you the proceeds that they're gaining off of your name. You're not going to get a cut out of that. Okay, so if you allow me to, invest in myself the way that I'm going to invest in myself, set my own price, set my own, domain, stay in my own lane, and do me, I'm not going to have to, do these other things that may lead me to getting in trouble off the field, to wait on this game check. Because that's a lot of times that happens. We find ourselves, trying to do other things off the field, or go get this other job, that's taking us away from training or working out the way that we need to, because we're trying to, compensate in a way with our money. And so I just learned, like, man, I really don't care to ask you for my money. Like, honestly, if I can just have my money before I get out of the game. And so that's the way I just looked at it. And then also with that, knowing, like, wherever I go, like, I'm a household name. Like, I'm with the community. I'm with the youth. So, I mean, they're going to support with the fans. I'm always speaking and reaching out and answering the DMs, So it's going to be there. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm understanding y'all doing it y'all way over there. I'm not knocking that. Don't want to ask for it. So I'm going to do it my way over here. In this way, we can't really bump heads,
Absolutely. So we got a couple more comments that I'm going to highlight real quick. Jordan Lott, big shout out to the man.
Yes, sir. Ring God. What's up, brother?
Johnny Potts, 22, next level athlete. Proud of this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Joseph Garcia, yes, most definitely agree 100%. Sean Thomas, blessing disguise. Joseph Garcia, trust the process. Garcia again, make sure you go and cop that merch. And then Johnny Potts, he truly understands the next level mindset. Proud of my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So obviously, a lot of support for this man here, DeWayne Autrey. So if you haven't done so already, please do me a solid and hit that like button. I really can't tell you how much it helps us grow as a channel when YouTube actually knows that you guys are enjoying interviews like this. A lot of these guys that I bring on this channel aren't the biggest names, don't have the kind of support that DeWayne does. So our goal is to grow this platform to give athletes like DeWayne and others that have been on this channel a bigger platform to tell their stories. That's the whole goal of us. We are literally here by the players, for the players, as far as I'm concerned. So it's just a pleasure to have this man, DeWayne, on with me once again. Yeah, so one big thing that we hear from players, and I'm glad you touched on this just a moment ago, is that they're unable to survive financially without other sources of income, with most of them working a full-time job of some sort, whether it's a remote job or a job where they're literally having to miss practice and stuff like that to, create an income for their family. Now, obviously, we just spoke about the fact that you have all these things going on and you've been able to create an environment for yourself in which you can kind of focus on sports a little bit more than most athletes. With that in mind, what advice would you give other athletes who are trying to gain financial independence so they can focus on their football career?
Invest in yourself. It's the simplest thing to do, honestly. Invest in yourself, just like, you invest your time, in becoming that professional. Well, it took that investment, man. So it's going to take that same investment, to gain, revenue, to gain, your own merch. But it's like, having that belief and faith in self, just like you did in becoming, professional. Like, you can do it in the same way. Like, and we all have it in us. Just like we have to get up and go to work. Like, man, if you want to get up and make a name for yourself, you're going to get up and do it. And that's the thing. A lot of people, honestly, I would say they're not really about the whole really wanting that, just that easy route. And in saying that, like, when they're saying, like, oh, I don't want to do this or work this job, like, no, you actually do want to work that job because you don't want to invest in yourself or work hard enough, so you're not, making this work. Because if you love it that much, it's not work. Football isn't work. If you loving it, you have, passion for it. Like, you're going to show up for it time and time again, and when it comes to the pay at times, that's why I looked at it like, man, like, if you love football, bro, like, that pay isn't always going to be there. It isn't always going to be what they say it's going to be. So it's like, what am I really doing? How can I go about this in a way to really, when it's all said and done, I don't have $1, but I can look back and say, I got this.
Definitely makes sense. So speaking of somebody that has a clothing line, Joshua Pancake Chef Davis is tuning in. He
Big
says, "My
pancake.
boy."
What's up, brother?
So thanks for tuning in, Joshua. I appreciate that, man. Definitely, he's got an interesting story as well. So
Yeah.
he's been on the channel as well. If you haven't
That's
checked
another
out
one of
his
my
interview,
mama
definitely
brothers.
make the
Yeah.
check. So now, obviously, we could sit here and talk about your businesses all night. I mean, you've got so many different things going on off the field that that part of your career interests me just as much as your football career does. Now, I may be the minority in that fact because I'm sure most of the fans watching right now want to hear more about your football career. So we'll get back to the football field.
Definitely.
Talk to me about your experiences within the CIF as a league. I mean, what factors of the league are you encouraged by for the future of it, and what areas do you suggest improvements in?
A big thing that I seen the league did was hire Bob Scott as our commissioner. Bob Scott is that dude. Like, no, I definitely respect what he does, you know, because I went up there in 2017 and played for his organization with the Bandits, and we didn't miss a beat when I was there, definitely. And he was the head honcho there. So I'm thinking him and the way that he did and ran, you know, things there, and being head of the league now, that's definitely going to be good for the league, honestly. Um, but as far as, you know, um, improvements for the league, you know, that's just like any arena league, you know, it's always room for improvement, and that's be it, you know, marketing, promotion, and things like that. You know, not every team knows how to market and promote, you know, things the right way. But I think if they had, you know, somebody, you know, or just a group, you know, of people that you know could help market you know the organization and different teams, you know, and promote these different teams and organize an arena in general, you know, because at times you have some players that literally promote the league and organization more than the whole league promotes and shares content and things like that. And it's like, uh, don't you have somebody to do this? Well, you should. So it's like understanding, you know, that marketing, promoting, and putting, you know, athletes in position to get recognition, uh, just more of that. 'Cause that's what it's all about. That's what makes the league, you know, what the athletes are bringing to the table, on and off the field, um, things like that.
Absolutely. So I'm going to play a quick video that I don't believe anybody has seen yet, except for some people behind the scenes. So you spoke about how the CIF needs to promote themselves a little bit better. Well, I agree wholeheartedly, in fact, so much so that we here at Shady Sports Network are working on individual shows for each team. So far, we've got 3 in the works. The Topeka Tropics are one of them. So here's a little sneak peek for our new intro video for our new show, The Tropical Storm. All right, so that actually will be launching later on this week. Super excited for it. My guy Sean is going to be running the show. I'll be helping out behind the scenes. We've got a couple other shows coming for other teams as well. Billings Outlaws and the Omaha Beef. So CIF, if you're a team and you're not included in those 3 and you've got somebody in mind that could potentially host the show, my DMs are open. Hit me up. We're trying to bring more coverage to the CIF. There's a lot of amazing players in this league that deserve a hell of a lot more promotion than they get currently. And that's no disrespect to the league. We're just trying to provide a service that they don't have already, and hopefully do so in a manner that they can be proud of, respect, and hopefully give us a little bit of promotion from the league themselves. So with that being said, I'm super excited for that to launch later on this week. I believe DeWayne has agreed to be on that show as well at some point.
Yeah, you know, they tapped in with your boy, tapped in.
Definitely.
So I'm definitely, you know, doing due diligence.
Absolutely. So this past season in 2022, you managed to collect 51 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 3 interceptions, and 5 pass breakups, which for you statistically was kind of a down year. And I don't mean any disrespect when I say that, because as you spoke about before, that team was so loaded that you didn't have to make every play on the field. You might have been setting up another teammate. But with that being said, were you satisfied with your individual performance in 2022, or is there more to come for Tropics fans?
Oh man. Yeah, see, you was looking for a reaction. No, I was not whatsoever. Um, but it was a humbling thing. Um, because that year, this past year, I had already set the bar for myself the year prior, and I didn't get it done. And so I was like, man, when that championship in the AAL with North Texas Bulls, like it didn't feel like a championship supposed to feel. So I was like, man, I'm gonna go and do this, back at the original franchise, with Salina. Um, and going there, I had already understood. I was like, man, I ain't make my 50th interception last year, the year prior to. So I was like, I can't wait to get into the season and get that done. And so I only had 2 picks this year. I don't know why they counted me for 3, but I had 2 picks this year. But making my 50th pick this year, it was just a surreal deal I was going through. It was, I think, it was against Omaha Beef. And that was, that whole Omaha and Salina, and stamping like, I'm here. Like, okay, y'all beat them last year without me. I'm here. So got that pick. And then when I did get my 51st pick, it was during my mom's death anniversary month, and it was for her 51st birthday. So just getting those 2 picks, like, and it being like my lowest year, it kind of humbled me and allowed me to appreciate, those moments more. Because while playing, for 10 years, like I've never been able to pick up the phone, mom, like, I'm proud of you, son. I'm watching you. Never got that hug throughout my career, with my mom or, parents. So it's like, people like, oh, DeWayne, you're a good athlete. And it's like, damn, like, it sounds good, At the end of the day, I never got to hear that from my own, mom or dad, grandma, grandpa. So it just put me in a place to where it's like, man, I'm gonna just keep doing this, when I'm in the position to pass the torch, I'm gonna just do that. But it's like I'm not satisfied, and that's just because of the ones that's not here to see it. And granted, they do have the seats in the the big house to see it up front. It just without having that physical touch or hearing that from my own biological mother or father, it's just materialistic at this point, honestly. So I look at it like that. And it's like, keep setting the bar, honestly. And that's what I'm willing to do until, God say my time is done. Set the bar in a way that, nobody has done outside of me.
Wow. Wow. I was not aware that your mother had passed away, man. We talked a lot about a lot of things off the air,
Yeah.
but I was not aware of that. We never discussed that. So I'm so sorry for your loss. That's got to be extremely tough. I mean, I can't even imagine.
But that's how I came into Arena, though. They unfortunately didn't understand the blanket that they gave me coming into Arena was a kid coming from college, 21 at the time, mother, and just, shot in the head by her, her husband at the time. And, shit, just 3 weeks later, the mother of my kids, we were seeing each other and we left school. And had my oldest son just 3 weeks later, staying with a frat brother and sorority sister, told me to come work at Finish Line. That shit turned into Salina Bombers, starting the franchise, them not knowing my struggle, not knowing what I'm going through whatsoever. But I looked at it like, no, God put you in a position to shine your light again. And coming into Arena, I came in with the protective instincts just because, like, what I've always been through. And unfortunately, that's how they got the rap sheet of me. Just coming in with that blanket and mental, presence and demeanor, and just always trying to basically inflict that pain back onto others, honestly, in a way that I wasn't going to catch a charge from. But then once I got away from that, honestly, and started just loving football and playing football for the love of the game again, and separating from a lot of stuff. That's why I say, like, this year playing with Coach O and understanding everything that we were doing, like taking and putting a stamp in exactly what I said I was going to do. It was just humbling experience. That's why I love that. I love what I went through. But now it's like I don't have to go into this next year. I don't have those things against me or those things to really, worry about. So it's really just going to be a fun year to play football again.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That should be extremely fun to watch for fans as well. Anytime you can take enjoyment from the game like you should, that it definitely helps you play a little bit more loose, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was in a cage the whole was definitely boxed in the cage this past season, understanding I was playing under a microscope. And I have to look at it like I'm okay with that, playing under a microscope, because basically I'm going to do it to a point to where you can't say I did anything wrong, and I did it in a way that, oh, dang, you get to ride off in the sunset. Well, no, I'm going to keep riding with it. I don't see the sunset yet till I'm done.
Very nice. Very nice. So I got one more highlight to play because it corresponds with my next question. Give me just a second to get that pulled up. So this is actually, whoops, sorry about that. This is actually a field goal return, but I wanted to talk about your ability on special teams, because obviously you're an elite level defender in the secondary, but really the fact that you're so valuable on special teams at this point in your career still, I mean, you're averaging 17 yards a kick when you're playing on a 50-yard field. So, I mean, that's just an amazing ability to put your team in the right position in terms of field position and give your offense the ability to score quick. So talk to me about how you developed as a kick returner. I mean, is it just an instinct you have, or is it something that you've trained yourself to be good at, or how does that work?
It's both, honestly. Because what most fail to realize, honestly, I'm an offensive player. Like, I come from playing offense. I'm a quarterback, honestly. That's literally where I came from, playing quarterback. Junior high, little league, high school, even college. But the fact that going through the upbringing that I went through, once I think I got to high school and I hit someone as a freshman on varsity, it changed the game for me, honestly. It just, and Coach C.L. Whittington, he played for the Houston Oilers, and he was also coach of Michael Strahan when he was at TSU. It changed him from tight end to D end. And so when he also told me, he was like, you know how you're going to be able to surpass like everybody that you're playing against. It's like, yeah, you quarterback. We can always bring you back in the quarterback. It's like, yeah, you're tailback. We can always use you for tailback. Receiver, we just know to get you the ball, type things like that. But the fact that we convert you over to defense and allow you to, be that quarterback on defense and communicate, be that cornerback that literally can shut, one side down, or that safety that can come down. It's like, yeah, he's like, you're about to open up like, a whole different, playing field for yourself. And then definitely, always being in those positions where I was kick returning at times, punt returning in college and things like that. Those instincts never went away. Being, like I said, kick returning, punt returning, I was always watching Devin Hester, Patrick Peterson, Ted Ginn, Dion, players like that. And it was like, man, I literally prided myself on being in that position and knowing, no, you're not going to always be in that position. But if you get the ball in your hands, you know what to do with it. And so that's definitely when I got back to Texas in 2018. No, I wasn't a kick returner whatsoever. Had people to return. But Coach Washington and Coach Mann, literally, they put me on, you back home in Texas, man. Playmakers make plays. So when the ball is in your hand, what are you going to do with it? Get back to the house. We don't need you just making an interception. We don't need you just making a big hit. We need you getting back to the house. And so literally just kept to that mindset. I'm trying to get home. I don't care about, who the best returner is. Like, honestly, or the receiver, or I'm trying to get home. And if I can show you that I can get home more than you can get home, then I'll leave that up to coach. And so that's just that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you just spoke about it a little bit. At 6'1", 195 pounds, running a 4.4 40, you have the size and speed to play many different positions in the secondary. Have you had a chance to speak with your new staff about how they plan to use you defensively?
No, sir.
Interesting.
I think they honestly probably have done their homework, and in doing their homework, you probably see that you can play me at all four of those defensive back positions and linebacker, and make plays in all those positions. And it's no different now. Later in my career, more mature in my career, and championships to show. He definitely knows the game. So I'm almost positive they're going to come up with schemes and things, just like other coaches and organizations have, to put not only me but our team in position, to walk away with the win and end up in that championship at the end of the year.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to see exactly how they use you. I mean, like I spoke about, you're so versatile and you can do so many different things that it's going to be very exciting. So you talked about it a little bit ago. When you first arrived at South Houston High School in Texas, you were coached by Al Campo, who would later retire during your time, thereby giving way to former assistant coach C.L. Whittingham, who you spoke about played with the Oilers. So what did these two men teach you during high school that built the foundation for you to play football professionally at such a high level?
Coach Kempo bringing me in, like he was one of those old school coaches. So, but he definitely, let me just, be that young freshman. And, he wanted to see what that talk was about. But by time, coming to my sophomore year, that's when, Coach Witt got, the head of things. And my position, I was really just, I would say back in high school, I still didn't just really find myself, but I was moving around so much and being versatile at the point, and not being the fastest or the strongest. Like, I just kept that competitive mindset, honestly. So it had me looking, like, man, like this kid can play. And so people just kept, catching an eye of that and understood like I was a competitor. And I was always gonna, train and do the extra work that come basically, game day. I was gonna put myself in a position to the opponents are gonna walk away, and ask, who I was. And Coach Witt definitely helped me understand that. Like, man, we're going against North Shore, we're going against LaPorte, we're going against Deer Park. That's okay, son. Walk away from this game and have that coach over there ask who was number 9 or who was Autrey. And I carried that, through college as well, and only playing the first 2 years. So that was the same dynamic. And then coming into professionalism, I'm going against, like I said, the NFL guys that's getting cut from the rosters, the D1 guys, the top overseas guys. And I went into arena just like that. Man, I don't care who you are. No disrespect to you, but I'm from Texas, and Texas is football. Like, like I'm not caring about like a name. But when the game is over, you definitely will ask, who I am and speak on my name. So being able to just keep that part of me, and it's still kind of how things go now.
Absolutely. So I got a couple more comments we're going to run through real quick. Let's go. I'll be watching for sure. Me and the nephews. Much love, bro, and Unk. Um, my BOA Ballhawk, and I hope you love that video as much as my family and I do. Talking about the intro video.
Yes, sir.
Um, always great to hear my bro. Can't wait to watch you play. Sean, by the way, is the host of the new show, The Tropical Storm, by the way. So can't wait to have you on the show. And then
Yes, sir.
Dominic Logan Sr., that's that dude. Yes, he is.
Yes, sir.
That's for sure. So one more question for you. And obviously you kind of touched on this a little bit. You've played every position, every skill position on the field, whether it's offense, defense, kick returner, punt returner, basically everything, right? So if that's the case, given the opportunity to go back to offense, which position would you play and why?
It would be a situation. I mean, in the game that it is now, like a lot of people don't understand, it's matchups, honestly. So, honestly, I'll be in a position, if matchup, presented itself and they can use me at quarterback, like definitely, like I'm going there. Tailback, same, going there. Receiver, going there. Um, and there's nothing against my opponents, but it's like, honestly, I always told myself, I'm not going against anybody. I'm going against myself. Like, you don't outwork me, and my mistake is going to be, what you're supposed to capitalize on. That's just how football and sports goes. Like, but if I'm not preparing myself, to beat my opponent, then my opponent's going to beat me. But the fact that it's not too many that I see that outwork me in any one of them positions if I, actually locked in at any one of those positions. Like, and I literally say that in the most respectful manner.
Absolutely. So with that being said, are you going to be campaigning for any offensive touches this season?
I wouldn't need to, honestly. I just look at it like, if y'all need it, like, let booby spin. That's how they said, you want to win. You want to win. Let booby spin. But like I said, in this professional realm and arena, I've learned that's why being in certain spots on kick return, I know that's how I'm going to help my offense. Like, no, you're a professional quarterback. You need to be a professional quarterback. Now I can understand, if we're low in numbers and things like that, and I'm needed, like, most definitely. But that's how I really look at it. Like, I truly strive to help my team, my teammates, like, get into their bag, just like I'm getting into my bag. Like, man, I want to get you the ball back. Like, go do what you do. Show them why you. Type thing. And I don't want to take away from any one of my teammates, but I always understood if I'm needed, like, I definitely got your back.
Absolutely. So we got one more comment here. My dog Autrey, Byron Seven Cooper from the Duke City Gladiators.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
He'll actually be a guest of the show at some point. Byron, you still need to get me a date, which works for you, buddy. So hit me up quick. December's filling up fast. Sean, he said it's title season, ring number 9 coming soon. Yeah, I would agree.
Definitely. That's definitely the goal.
Absolutely. So before I let you get out of here, why don't you remind everybody where they can find your merchandise, and then also shout out anybody you'd like to shout out before you get out of here.
I mean, if y'all do have my platform, here on Facebook, DeWayne Autrey, Instagram, D_Autrey_official. Twitter, you have hybrid, DB Archery, and that's, like I've said, it's just word of mouth. I'm very, active on my profiles and platforms as far as, with my merch and what I'm posting and when it's coming out and what I got up and coming. And definitely, so it takes nothing to DM me, reach out. And I'm always about helping, the next person, honestly, because I didn't get here, without, somebody, taking that time and conversation, to help me get to where I am. So I'm always about, hey, passing this blessing back down to the next person,
100%. And I can speak on that from firsthand experience. We've had some conversation behind the scenes. You've helped me out with quite a bit of stuff that, I was kind of beating my head against the wall on and stuff like that. So it's been very, very valuable for me to have you to kind of bounce ideas off of. So I wanted to thank you for that as well. And also thank you for coming on, man. Your story is unbelievable. I really only scratched the surface. So I'm leaving a lot of meat on the bone there for Sean when you come back on the Tropical Storm, our new show. So hopefully you have a great rest of your night, man. And I look forward to speaking to you in the future.
No, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you, Sam, and blessings to you, man. And definitely, when it comes to our future endeavors, man, I got you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for everything. And I will definitely be talking to you in the future. Have a great night.
Yes, sir, man. Blessings.
Absolutely. So once again, guys, that was DeWayne Autrey. And if you did not catch the intro video, stay tuned. I'll play it one more time for everybody. We do have a new show coming out hosted by the one and only Sean. He is going to host a show specifically about the Topeka tropics called the Tropical Storm. We are trying to bring a little bit more coverage to the CIF, which definitely needs it. It seems like, they just kind of blended in the background, and it's not fair to those players that play in the league. So we're going to try and bring a little bit more coverage. We got 3 of 7 teams covered so far. I'm working on bringing more shows to the docket in the future. So if anybody happens to be a super fan of the CIF, of one of the teams that I did not list earlier, which would be Billings, Topeka, and Omaha, let me know. I will get you set up, and maybe we can get another show added to this little roster that we got going at Shady Sports Network. So a couple more comments I wanted to run through real quick. Gina, the owner of the Duke City Gladiators, says, nice. My guy, fam, Autrey is a great father. Yes, he is. Shout outs to you, my bro. DCG champs in CIF 2018 and 2019. So she knows all about the lack of coverage for the CIF. That's kind of where this whole idea came from. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and play that intro video. Why don't you guys go ahead and let me know what you think about it in the comments? If it's crap, I'll get rid of it today. If you like it, we'll keep it. But Sean's a big fan of it, so hopefully y'all like it as well, because I actually kind of like it quite a bit. So also shout out to Joseph for this. Man, I don't do this for anybody but the players. These guys deserve a hell of a lot more exposure than what they get. And in my personal opinion, the men who play the indoor football leagues are a hell of a lot tougher than those guys that play on Sundays. And I don't mean any disrespect to any NFL athletes, because they are obviously great athletes. But I mean, come on now. You all saw the comments from the guy from Green Bay a couple weeks ago complaining about the turf. We know the turf in the indoor game is a hell of a lot harder, hell of a lot more difficult than the guys have to deal with outdoors in the indoor league. So just keep that in mind. I personally think that those complaints would never come from indoor football players. So just something to think about in the future. I thought it was kind of funny when those complaints came down, but here is the intro video for our news show. Thank you for that, Joseph. I appreciate that. And then he also says, most definitely, I made it to the NFL and totally agree. So definitely, that's more proof than I could ever ask for. With that being said, I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you have not done so already, make sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe. We are about 52 subscribers away currently from giving away $150 towards the sports memorabilia of your choice. So if you want to go get some DeWayne Autrey memorabilia, you can totally do that. It is from your choice, 100% from the league, sport, does not matter where it's coming from, any of that. Shout out to Next Level Athlete and Nation's Best, who DeWayne Autrey represents. They are definitely two very good organizations you want to check out. Definitely support them. And with all that being said, thank you for everything. Have a great night, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.